Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We are here. Episode 3.
Look at that.
We've done 3.
Consistency.
And we are here. We are famous.
I mean, basically.
Basically, we are so famous now, guys.
Yeah.
For some reason, Devin was cooking. And he got some news right as it hit.
I mean, I knew being chronically online was eventually going to pay off one day. I knew it. I just knew it. I knew it.
He posted the video, and I believe that video was about Kilmar Abrego?
Yeah, it was Chris Van Hollen going to
Yes.
El Salvador and basically saying that the Trump administration was paying El Salvador to keep him there, which is why he wasn't coming home. I was watching it live as it was on the Associated Press's YouTube, and I was like, holy shit, I almost tripped over myself just starting to make a video. I was like, this is fucking crazy. This is wild.
He literally posted it. He told me, and I was like, okay. So I was still at work, and I just started checking it. And at this point, Devin goes AWOL, and I'm just seeing the notifications cannot be handled. I'm like, I had started replying to comments because we normally reply to like every comment because we only get like 10, 20 comments typically. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. It was like within minutes, we were at like 20,000 views. We have like 9 billion comments. I couldn't keep up. I was like, Devin. And he was like, not answering.
You're like, what's going on? I'm getting hammered with emails at work. And I'm like, what's she talking about? And then I open it up and I'm like, oh, fuck. I was like, did I beat Aaron Parnas?
He did. He Aaron Parnas. And to just put it into perspective, we had like maybe 200 followers. Like, I think we were still at like 180, 190.
Yeah.
And we currently have over 1,900 followers.
Yeah, it took quite the dramatic jump this week.
And that was like in a 2-day span. So move over, Aaron. We are
1929. That's actually bothering me. I need that to be 30. So somebody better get on there in the morning.
Right now.
Right now, or at least by the morning, minimum.
So now, then I was like, oh my God, we're famous. Where is all of our money?
Yeah, where is that? Where
is it?
Yeah.
And they were like, you're going to need about at least 9,000 more people following you for us to even consider maybe doing anything to help you make money.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool.
Yeah, the Republicans keep telling us that Democrats are getting paid, so I'm still looking for that. So
yeah, I wanted my check. I was like, wow, we've got 1,900 followers. We should be rich now, right? Yeah. And they were like, no. That's not how this works.
Are you dumb?
Are you dumb? You don't make any money. So guys, we are still not getting paid.
No. But speaking of getting paid, what were you doing today?
Apparently, I was getting paid. I was boots on the ground today at the Hands Off protest. So we've got the 50-51 movement.
Hey.
They had their first Hands Off protest a couple weeks ago, and this is the second round. This one was a little like last minute thrown together in some places. So the one I went to was a more last minute one. I was in Seminole County, Florida. And the flyer, I got it after having to ask for it last week. So there wasn't a lot of advertising on it. So I was a little nervous that I was going to show up and there weren't going to be a lot of people. So I was prepared to show up. And if there weren't people, I was going to drive all the way to Daytona, where Chasing Oz was today. They had a big one there. But I showed up and there were like over 100 people. So I was like, park it. Got out. And I could not believe my eyes, you guys. We were outnumbered by boomers. The boomers showed up, they showed out, they outnumbered us, and they were lovely. They set up a table. They had cardboard and blank signs and markers for people that didn't have signs, which was adorable. They were playing music, It was great. I took note of some of their signs that I loved. We've got Grannies Against Fascism.
Gaff.
We've got We Are All Kilmar. We had somebody with a sign that said, "No sign is big enough to list the reasons I am here," which I loved. We've got Democracy Dies in Silence. Oh, so good. Chef's kiss. And guys, it was hot. I mean, in Florida, we know it's hot, but it was like 85 degrees. It was like sun bearing down on us. There wasn't a ton of shade. It's humid, and everyone stayed out the whole time, and it was great. People were walking around making sure everybody was drinking water. It was amazing. Everyone was peaceful. People were picking up trash. This old lady was pulling weeds. It was so peaceful. There was one guy in like a lifted truck with a Trump flag that kept coming around. You might have seen him. I was on live for a little bit, and he was filming me, and I was filming him. It was cute. It was cute. We were having a little film back and forth. He called me the R word, and I said, "Thank you for the publicity." Don't you know I'm famous now?
Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am? And the old ladies loved it. I had my sign that I made late last night. I just made my Hot Girls Defend Democracy sign. It's a great sign. And I brought that. And the old ladies were like, "I don't know what your sign means. Please explain it. I need to know. What does hot girls mean? Are they just hot girls?" And I was like, I got to explain the lore. So I'm telling them about Hot Girl Summer, and they're like, "Okay, so can we take something?" And I was like, "Of course."
Wait.
They were like,
Did they
What?
ask you if Meg the Stallion is an actual horse?
No. But I did tell them that this tagline is real hot girl shit.
Hey.
They were like, okay. They loved it. And they said that if hot girls have Hot Girl Summer, that they would like Hot Granny Spring.
Let's go, HGS.
So it is
about.
Hot Granny Spring. And I'm allowing this because they showed up and showed out. So they can have it.
You got it.
They can have it. It's all yours, my fellow grannies.
You got it, grannies.
But it was great. I was exhausted, like being out in the sun for so long. It was exhausting, but it just felt great to be out there and let our voices be heard. And there was no police there. The police they were like, "We're not showing up." Not showing up at all. So a couple of them drove around a couple times, but they were not parked. They were not standing anywhere. And it was just a great time. And I know there's another one coming up. I believe May 3rd is the next bigger hands-off protest.
Let's go.
And keep an eye out for that.
Hey.
As always, stay safe when you go to these protests.
Yes.
Bring a buddy. Don't do what I did. I went alone. But the
No
grannies
security.
protected me.
Solo dolo, right? Casey's
Solo
out in the
dolo.
streets, all right? Don't even try her.
Don't try me in the streets. I have pepper spray locked and loaded on me
Yeah.
at all times.
And she's famous, so
And I'm famous. I
Don't
need a
even
security
try.
guard now. No,
Don't
my
even
husband
try.
would have gone with me, but he had a softball tournament, and I was like, you know what? Go play your softball game. I got this. It's just Seminole County. What's the worst that could happen?
what's the worst
If
that
I
could
get
happen?
he was wearing his Apple Watch, and I did say, like, if you get any phone call from any number, please answer it.
It's me in jail.
In jail. We did have a joke that I was like, because Devin was like, "Are you still okay to record tonight?" And I was like, "As long as I'm not in jail, yeah, I can record."
Yeah.
And if I am in jail, then this episode should be sponsored by my mugshot.
Oh my god, that would be our merch immediately.
Immediate merch. That would be my mugshot.
Immediate.
Immediate. But my husband was like, "Please don't get arrested because they will hold you there until Monday."
They don't let you out on the weekends.
No. So I'd be in jail with all the hot grannies. It'd be fun.
Hey. Hold 'em down with the grannies.
Down with the grannies. But anyway, let's get into all the craziness of this week. We can start with China.
All right, China telling us to go fuck ourselves. So, in tariff war part 300, I don't know. The percentage of goods coming from China is now 245%. It sounds absolutely ridiculous saying it out loud. China is no longer buying American plane manufacturing parts from Boeing. They have halted all Boeing deliveries. That means not deliveries that are being brought in by Boeing planes. They are not receiving the Boeing planes that they were scheduled to order. So, goddamn. And then also, they will now be sourcing beef from Australia. So, farmers that voted your farms away, good fucking job. You continue to fuck yourselves. There is also going to be a task force that is going to be created for this problem that nobody asked for with the tariffs from China, because Donald Trump decided to, create this problem. So now he's going to create a task force to handle it that is going to be headed by J.D. Vance, which means that J.D. Vance will be the person that will be blamed for the further escalations of this tariff war with China. Just so you know, in case you didn't know, it's going to be J.D. Vance's fault. All right? And in the funniest part of this tariff war, if you've been on TikTok for the past week, I'm sure you've seen on your For You page just Chinese manufacturers just popping up saying, hey, look at this. You want to buy this? You can buy it from us. You don't have to get it from the middleman. You don't have to go buy it at a retail store. They were dropping secrets about Gucci bags, Louis bags, designer bags. Basically, we all knew that everything was made in China, though, of course. But now that we actually saw it straight from they were in the factory making these damn videos. They were saying, hey, we make the damn bag, we send it over to Gucci, what have you, in Italy. They slap on a little lock and a little tag on there that says made in Italy or whatever European country, and then they send it to America and you buy it at like an 8,000% markup. So last weekend, China essentially destroyed capitalism and luxury brands because Donald Trump wanted to be stupid. So Donald Trump being the downfall of capitalism is just, I didn't have it on my bingo card, but I'm honestly here for it. I also bought a new smartphone. It's an off-brand Galaxy. It should be here. It was supposed to be here yesterday, so now I'm getting worried. But I got it for $50 bucks. $50 with screen protector and case. So whenever that comes in, I will be doing an unboxing. My first unboxing and probably the last I will ever do. And for the last thing with China, so one of the top Chinese officials, when he was, being asked about the tariffs and how it's going with the United States, this was clearly a shot at J.D. Vance. He said, the U.S. peasants will wail in front of the 5,000 years of Chinese civilization. And I mean, that is just exclamation point on the end of the sentence, because America's 248 years old. China's is thousands of years old. So I don't know what the fuck I don't know what they were thinking that this would, work out. It's amazing. I don't know. Like, America is in like their prepubescent teenager stage, thinking that they know everything and just rebelling. And they're like, fine, fuck you, Dad. And China's like, okay, we'll see. You got it. Go ahead.
I think another point to make is the press conference that KK Caroline had, where she obviously did what she does best and said we should all be thankful. China should be thankful that America has the consumers. They should be thanking us for buying their products. Guys, I know you all know this. It's not like we have a choice. We do not have a choice. We aren't the great consumers. We are failures. We can't make any of that here.
Look at us. We're podcasting. We don't know how to do shit in this country. All right?
We cannot manufacture anything.
No.
Okay? The one thing we might maybe have going for us is the farms. And even that is about to just, as you can see, fall apart.
That was the last thing we had.
What's the last
and we
thing
ruined
we had,
it.
Guys?
And we ruined it.
What do we have? We have some oils. Maybe. No, we don't. Baby. So it was just very funny that she said that. That's the delusional, Blue-Lusional. But that is the delusional side of MAGA that thinks just because we purchase things that are made in China means that we don't have to. We have to.
It's all in China. It's all made in China.
Because they, as they said, have 5,000 years of civilization. And we are basically nothing. And they do not need us. They don't need us. They don't. They got it all figured out. We are over here like, oh no.
China said, "Nook, if you fucking buck, you need a couple thousand years under your belt before you talk to me."
They said, make your own designer handbags.
Do it.
Do it.
We dare you. Do it. And then at the same time, we're going to steal all your customers.
So good. It's China is that girl.
Yeah. So,
that girl. We love you, China.
We love you, China.
We are rooting for you.
Fuck us up, fam.
Fuck us up, fam. Just continue to fuck us up.
Yes. But, all right, what do we got now in tea spilling? Tea spilling land. I love me some good tea, honestly.
We do. A lot of tea was spilled this week, and probably one of the biggest news-breaking stories that we saw this week, one that got us famous, was
you heard it
Senator
here first.
Van Hollen. Yes, and Senator Van Hollen of Maryland did what we all want our senators to do, which is to care about us. Quite literally, that's all we're asking.
The bare minimum.
The bare minimum is to just care about your citizens,
Please.
your constituents. You could just care about us. That would be great. And he cares about Kilmar Abrego Garcia and seeing everything that the Trump administration is spewing lie after lie after lie, and they're not checking on this man, and we have no evidence or had no evidence that he was even alive. Senator Van Hollen said, "I'm going. You guys won't do it. I will do it. He is my constituent, and I'm going to go check on him." So he boarded a plane. He went to El Salvador, and he got all the tea. He got all of it. He came back with it, and he came back with everything. So when he traveled there, he met with the vice president of El Salvador, who at first was like, "You cannot see Kilmar. You can't see him." But when Senator Van Hollen asked, "Why won't you release him? Why won't you give him back?" their answer was, "Well, your administration promised El Salvador $15 million to detain the deportees, including Kilmar, here. So we're getting paid. So no, we're not going to release him. You guys are paying us.
We have a clip.
We got money in the game."
We have a clip too. We're not lying. Right here.
His answer was that the Trump administration is paying El Salvador, the government of El Salvador, to keep him at CECOT.
Eek.
Literally, eek. So, $15 million. You heard that right. $15 million. That is how much the administration is paying to keep him and all the deportees there. So, Senator Van Hollen was going to leave because they weren't going to let him see Kilmar. I don't know what happened, but when he was right about to leave, they were like, never mind, you can see him. So Senator Chris Van Hollen went back, and the president of El Salvador, Bukele, tried to turn it into a PR stunt, as one does. They got Kilmar in fresh clothing. He had a fresh shave. He had shoes. He looked like he was just going on vacation.
That's probably why they didn't let him see him, because they had to clean him up first.
They had to clean him up. And so the senator was like, where are we going to meet? How is this going to go down? And Bukele wanted them to meet at the pool and to sit in chairs and sip on drinks, like margaritas, and make it look like they are just chilling on vacation. To which the senator said, abso-fucking-lutely not. No. What? This isn't a vacation.
I'm not participating in your propaganda.
Let that be known that is what was attempted. But they ended up meeting at this, what we believe is a restaurant. And he said that Kilmar is obviously dealing with a lot of trauma. He is traumatized. He's being mistreated. He is in complete isolation. He had no idea what was going on anywhere. That's how isolated they were. And the only thing that is getting him through all of this is his family and knowing that he needs to get back to his family. So Van Hollen, his visit highlighted the reality that this is a political game. This is about money. This is about power. This is about getting rid of people you just don't like.
Yep.
It's not about illegal aliens. That's never what this was about. And this is the perfect, encapsulation of that. And I know that everyone's like telling us in the comments, because we're calling it what it is. It's trafficking.
Yep.
They sold him to El Salvador, and everyone's like, he wasn't sold, because if he was sold, that means that El Salvador would have had to pay them to take him. Guys, that's not just what sold means. There is an exchange when there is a sale.
Yep.
And there is an exchange here. Trump gets to get rid of anyone he wants, put them in custody with another country, and then use foreign policy to never have to bring them back.
Yep.
That was the exchange. You take him, and now I don't have to deal with them anymore. And I can get rid of anyone I want, and I don't need to in their mind, they could build facilities to keep them here. They don't want to do that.
Nope.
And they shouldn't. That's what this administration wants. They want them gone.
Also, guys,
that was the exchange.
This is straight out of the Nazi playbook. So just so you know, if you didn't know, Auschwitz was in Poland, not Germany. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So
okay,
keep that in mind.
Keep it in mind.
Well, we got more bombshells this week coming out of the National Labor Relations Board. So a whistleblower has come up, an IT person who works for the National Labor Relations Board has come forward with a claim that the Department of Government Evil has accessed sensitive information from their systems earlier this year. What did they do with that? So they took 10 gigs of sensitive data, so things that are related to union activities, private affidavits, and whatever else they were fucking taking from there. So it's not just about them taking the data, okay? There was tampering with the login protocols with their database. And then they noticed after, there were signs because their monitoring tools were switched off and their multi-factor authentication was fucked with. They realized that there were multiple login attempts in a span of 15 minutes from, drum roll, a Russian IP address. I know, big shock. Treason of the week.
What?
No way. It's not like Hillary Clinton.
Way.
It's not like Hillary Clinton said this 10 years ago. Oh my God, I'm so surprised. But, and another shocker, the logins that were coming from that IP address were wiped. And any attempts to raise the alarm with CISA, that's the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, were blocked by the higher ups. So, also, let me preface this with that. The NLRB is basically, they're like the police of labor. So, like, if there's, like, any type of, I guess I would say, like, OSHA violations and stuff like that, that's where things they would get involved. So, Elon Musk team, surprise, surprise, they have been completely silent when it comes to this when they were asked for a comment on this. So that just essentially leaves everybody in the dark. So Senators Tom Cotton and Mark Warner, who the complaint was addressed, also aren't saying anything, right? Classic. So here's where it gets even worse. There is a conflict of interest. I know that never happens with Elon Musk, ever. So he has access to the government systems, his private business dealings, so SpaceX, Tesla, all of that. Because we all know Elon is the biggest welfare baby in this country. The man makes, I want to say, so, I think the number is $3 billion in government contracts. So the MAGA's always complaining about now, people on welfare, people on welfare. Talk to your boy from South Africa. Okay? So, excuse me. So this is still currently under investigation, but seeing as how the DOJ is controlled by, the guy who was a Russian asset, don't know. Also, Dan Baroulis before he testified to Congress, he received a physically taped threatening note to his door with photographs taken from a drone of him walking his dog. Now, you tell me, if you were up to, doing, regular run-of-the-mill things, would you be putting threatening notes on somebody's door with pictures of them? No, you wouldn't be threatening them. That wouldn't be happening. But we live under a dictatorship now, so that's unfortunate. And also, I want to point out that I think everyone's forgetting that there's been so much shit going on that our current dictator is a Russian asset still. So we are under attack. That is what's happening. He's not going to do anything good. He's not going to improve anything for this country. He is literally attacking us. I think we all need to keep that in mind still. So, again, we'll see if any investigation comes out of this or anybody is held liable or accountable. But at the end of the day, this is treason. They are literally selling, exchanging, giving data over to Russia because it's well documented that both Trump and Elon Musk are close with Vladimir Putin. So we'll see where that goes. But
what's crazy about it is that I thought, guys, that Elon wasn't the head of DOGE, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what Trump said?
Yeah, that's
Isn't that what KK Caroline said?
Yeah, that's what they told us.
Funny how this continues to come up.
They wouldn't lie, right?
They wouldn't. They wouldn't lie.
They never lie.
They wouldn't. They never lie. But yet here we are lying, and I know Elon is sweating because he thought he's been in the clear for like a week or two. His name hasn't been at the top. He's kind of phasing himself out. He's going to leave soon, and then this happened, and I know that pissed him off.
Yep, that we're still on his ass. We're still on your ass, buddy.
Continue to be on his ass. So, sucks for Elon, but we don't know if anything's going to happen, unfortunately. But we do have judges that are making things happen.
Hey.
And they showed out this week. They left no crumbs.
None.
This week. So we are starting with federal judge Paula Xinis, and she is overseeing the legal battle after the Supreme Court ruled that the government must facilitate Kilmar Abrego Garcia's return, who we talked about earlier. And one would think that if the administration was told to do something by SCOTUS, that they would do it. But we would be wrong, because Attorney General Pam Bondi thinks she is Webster's dictionary, and she comes up with her own definition of what words mean. And she said that facilitate does not mean bring him home. She said, this is El Salvador's call. This isn't ours. So if they don't want to release him, we don't have to do anything. And also, if they did release him and he were to find a way back into the United States, we will arrest him, charge him, process him, and then deport him again. That is what we plan to do if he ever finds a way back here. So, Judge Paula Xinis put her foot down and said, I am not having any of this anymore. We are done. You guys are delaying. You're making up your own definitions. So now we are not slow walking this. The clock is ticking. And now I am nailing you down in a 2-week discovery showdown where basically the judge is in charge. She can find all of her discovery documents, hearings, declarations done under oath. She can grill people. She can call anyone in to figure out what is going on. And she wants to know if the Trump administration is complying with the Supreme Court order ruling, which we know they're not, but as a judge, she has to do her due diligence to figure out if they are. Yep. So she's ordered 4 officials from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to sit in for depositions by the 23rd. And this is going to be done under oath. She's going to be grilling them under oath. Mm-hmm. And when that was announced, the government's lawyer, Drew Ensign, I think is how you pronounce his name, started to sweat a little bit and wanted to say there's attorney-client privileges, so, they can dodge questions, correct? And she was like, no, that's not happening.
No. Drew.
I am literally not having it, so you can stop. And then Ensign was like, but, this is how we, or the administration, interpreted the word facilitate. And she said, if you think that the interpretation of facilitate means to not do anything to get him back, and then say if he does come back that you are going to take him and deport him again, then you got me fucked up in this place. You have me so fucked up.
Are you
if
dumb?
That's what your definition of facilitate is. So now I have to treat you like the children you are. So she's being as clear as she can be about the case and how it's being handled. And she's giving an ultimatum. She's saying either expedite the fact-finding to see if this administration is following my order, or we're going to have some serious consequences here. Hey. And she made it a point to say that every day that Kilmar Abrego Garcia stays in the CECOT prison, where prisoners are packed into cells, are never allowed outside, is a day of irreparable harm to him. And she is sick of the delays in the games. She told them to cancel vacations, cancel appointments. This is top priority.
Stay your ass.
If she calls them in, they need to be here. So this is amazing news. It is. It's amazing news. It's 2 weeks. That's very fast in the court system. And we will see what happens. We know that there's not going to be anything proving they've done something to facilitate his return. But we have to let the federal judge do her job and take the 2 weeks.
Let her cook.
Because she's going to find things. She might find more.
Ooh, that's that discovery. Ooh.
Yeah, and she spoke out, and then we had Judge Boasberg climb in. He said, wait, we're doing this? Let me hop right back in.
Save me some.
I'm back. Judge Boasberg is the epitome of you can't get rid of me, bitch. You can't get rid of me. I'm still here. Because he is just getting assigned to all the cases. And it's randomized. And yet karma continues to show with Judge Boasberg. And he is the one that back in March ordered the Trump administration to pause the deportations under the Alien Enemies Act. And there were planes that were in the air to El Salvador. And he told the administration, you cannot send any more planes. And if there are planes in the air, they need to turn around and come back to the United States. We know that did not happen. The planes that were in the air continued on their journey to El Salvador, and they were never returned. And it kind of went stale for a couple weeks, but he is back, and he came in hot. He said that you guys deliberately are flouting my orders, and I could hold you all in criminal contempt because you are going against my orders.
You're playing in my face.
Playing in my face. So he has given them an ultimatum, just as Judge Polizenis does. He said, I need one of two things. There's no, one of these two. You don't get to make up your own. I either need hard fact evidence in 1 week that you all did everything in your power to turn the planes around. And then I need the names of those who told the planes to keep going. Mm-hmm. I need those things in a week. You got 2 weeks with federal judge Polizenis. You got 1 week with me. 1 week. Figure it out. But this could land criminal contempt charges. Now, this is where things are tricky, you guys. It's not that easy. And even Judge Boasberg has come out to say this is not an easy task. I cannot just take the case and move it forward. The Department of Justice controls prosecutions. So if they don't want to prosecute this case, there's going to be an issue. Now, he could hire or he has the power to appoint a private attorney to investigate and prosecute the case, but it's rarely done. And he's saying it could cause a constitutional showdown if it is done. But the thing to remember that he's pointing out is that the investigation found that 75% of those who were deported have no criminal record. And if they did have a record, it was nonviolent offenses like shoplifting, speeding, not paying a ticket, very nonviolent offenses, and yet they are sent to a notorious maximum security facility in El Salvador with no violent offenses in a concentration camp. So he does not want to back down because of that. He doesn't. So that's why he's giving them a week to comply or explain their actions. If they don't, he's going to go after those responsible. He could find them accountable and hold them in contempt, but there are roadblocks that we are most likely going to see. So I just want you guys to know that it's not just like I didn't find anything in a week, you guys are now in contempt. It doesn't work like that. We are probably going to see the Department of Justice say, nah, we're not going to take that. And if that's the case, he could hire a private attorney. We will see what happens. But we have to give credit where credit is due, and
facts. The
federal judges have really stepped up to the plate, and they're not only denying, and also I want to talk about the Court of Appeals are also denying things left and right against the administration. And they're not just doing that. They're also saying the words that we are saying, which is, do you guys realize how bad this is? Mm-hmm. Everyone should be terrified right now. Everybody should be angry. Everyone should be concerned what this administration is doing. This is insane. And so hearing that from federal judges, from Court of Appeals, is just a step in the right direction. So we do need to take our wins where we can. and we are happy about that. But there are situations still going on here with immigrants who are being targeted. Devin's going to go a little bit more into it.
Yep. And before I forget, the special prosecutor is not going to be Kamala, guys. Okay, it's not going to be Kamala. Although that would be peak script writing, but it's not going to be Kamala. Anywho, so basically there are, of course, I'm just frazzled. So immigrants are being targeted as they are going to their immigration meetings to get their citizenship. So MAGA, who's been screaming, "Oh, you need to get citizenship legally. You need to do it the right way." They're doing it. They're doing things the right way, and it's literally on video. ICE is basically staking out these meetings, tackling these people to the ground, arresting them, and putting them in detention centers, and they're also trying to fly them off to CECOT, the fucking concentration camp, because it was never about, oh, we're gonna get rid of all the criminals. No, they want an all-white country. That's what it comes down to. Whatever brown folks that they want to keep around, those are going to be the ones that they want to have in indentured servitude. So, and also with that, even though Kilmar has been moved out of CECOT, we will not stop talking about CECOT. There is still Henry Jose Quintero, Merwell Gutierrez, Andy Omar Blanco Bonilla, Neri Jose Alvarado Borges, Andre Jose Hernandez Romero, Jersey Reyes Barrios, Arturo Suarez, all still in CECOT, and I'm sure there are plenty more, so we cannot forget about them. We know that Bukele moved Kilmar out of CECOT because he's probably thinking that's the only person we know of, so we can shut up about CECOT. No, we're going to talk about CECOT even more, bitch. So fuck that noise. Keep talking about CECOT. Keep putting on the pressure. He was crashing out on Twitter about it because essentially people are calling it a concentration camp and that we learned the fucking truth about it. So keep putting that pressure on it. Keep boycotting El Salvador products like their coffee and Fruit of the Loom and things like that, so we can keep that pressure on them. And then also, Juan Carlos Lopez Gomez, who was an American-born citizen born in Georgia, was arrested by ICE in Florida. I'm going to say that again. American-born citizen born in Georgia, arrested in Florida, was held in an ICE detention center. When his mom showed up with his birth certificate, his social security, they said, the judge said, we can't. ICE has a hold on him. What the fuck does that mean? So immediately, as we've been doing, everybody's sharing the information about this online. There were protests out there. Same day, people were loud about it. We were making videos about it. And eventually they caved to the pressure. They let him out. He was able to be reunited with his mother. And that's great that happened, but it's also terrible that family had to be subjected to that kind of trauma just because this current regime is just so blatantly racist that they can't handle brown people simply existing. And it's gross. It's sickening.
It's gross. It's an issue as well when we hear people saying, let's just bring everything to the states. Each state can decide what they want to do. That's how they've done it with a lot of issues. And I live in Florida, so I know Governor Ron DeSantis is a piece of shit, the scum of the earth. And he has a law that is basically an immediate arrest on anyone who enters the state of Florida who is an illegal alien. And we saw that being used as the guise for this, which is that Juan Carlos Lopez Gomez was in a car with other people. He was speeding and was pulled over by a cop, and showed his driver's license, but he is not fluent in English, but he is born here. He is a U.S. citizen. And the cop is saying that Gomez stated he was here illegally and that's why he was arrested. We do not have any confirmation on that. They haven't released any body cam footage showing the interaction, anything like that. His mother showed up with everything, and the federal judge was like, we can't release him because he has an ICE hold. Well, why? Why?
What does that mean?
Why? And why did it take all of us getting loud for him to be released? And if this isn't opening your eyes to the fact that this is not about illegal immigrants, I don't know what will. This man, if we hadn't gotten loud, and I don't want to hear it because everyone's like, it's not because if people got loud, it's because ICE let him go because he's from here. No. He would have been on the plane. Mm-hmm. He would have been on the plane and out of here. He would have. We were loud, and we have been loud about so much. And it's shown that our pushback works, and we pushed back on this. And might I say, on top of that, I was watching a video with Empress CJJ, and she was saying, at this point, they are not going after white people. We have a privilege, and we should not be bystanders in these situations. If we see ICE and we see them out trying to detain anyone, we need to get in between. We need to go over there and we need to create human shields around these people. Because just filming it and then posting it on TikTok and saying, isn't this sad? Isn't this bad? Is not enough. Because there's no time between that video being posted and them being on the plane and being gone and us not being able to get them back. There's no time. So you need to act. You need to get in there, and everyone's afraid if I go over there, they're going to detain me. If you are white, that should not be your concern right now. They are not after you yet. We have a privilege. I don't know how much longer we have that privilege. We need to use it. And we've seen it play out. We've seen people become like human shields. There were people that became human shields. I forget where, but there was a ton of people and they blocked it. They literally brought this family food and they just stood there until ICE left.
In Tennessee?
Mm-hmm. Yes, in Tennessee. Yeah, so they pretty much just like staked out and waited and waited and waited, and finally ICE left. Because what are they going to do? Arrest everyone? They can't. Mm-hmm. You guys, we outnumber them.
Yep.
All you need is to outnumber them, and they can't do anything. What are they going to do? So this is my plea. It's just my plea, guys. Please do not be a bystander that just takes your phone out and videotapes it and then posts it online. Please get involved. Get involved. Get somebody involved. Get involved.
Well said.
That is my plea.
Well said. All right. We are on to the lighthearted part of the show. We have got traitors in the chat, which was also light this week because I think there's too much crazy shit going on. But, there's still some traitorous bastards out there. So Shaq was at the most recent UFC event, and he was just out there hugging up on the Tangerine Tyrant for some odd reason. And you don't have to do that. We see you, and then as someone who has been visually compared to Shaq my entire life, now when I hear that, I'm gonna take offense to it. When I went on Red Note for that week, people are still there, but when I made one, people were like, "Are you Shaq? You're Shaq, aren't you?" And I was like, put in my bio, I was just not Shaq.
Not Shaq. You're like, I am famous, but I'm not Shaq famous.
I am famous, but I'm not Shaq famous, all right? That's not me. He looks like me, I don't look like him. But anywho, Shaq, you can get the fuck out of here. I'm so upset with you. This one was known, but it always flew under the radar. Vince Vaughn has been a MAGA for some time now, but people let him slide. I think it's because Wedding Crashers. But he was straight up at the White House, arm around Trump, The White House social media account posted it. It was like White House crashers. So now he's like, they put him on blast. So Vince Vaughn, it looks like you're out of here, buddy. Sorry, not sorry.
You're done.
Yeah, you're done. You're cooked.
You're
Get out
done.
of here.
Shaq, kiss your DJ career goodbye.
Yeah, fuck out of here, bro. All right.
Out of here.
Ravers don't
I
like
regret.
fascism.
I will say he did DJ at a UCF game, University of Central
stays in
Florida,
Florida.
game. And I was there. I was having a great time. And then I got sick after. And maybe that was my body telling me that it rejects Shaq.
Rejecting Shaq because he's a fan of fascism.
Shaq. I literally left in the middle of the DJ set because I thought I was going to pass out. So I think my body was preparing me.
You knew.
I knew.
It was a premonition.
But only 2 traders, but I think we needed a little reprieve because it was getting crazy with the traders. We had
was
like
getting a lot.
2 pages worth, so we needed a little
Now
rest.
that I remember, that Hakeem Jeffries and Mike Johnson debate never happened, just like you said.
That's exactly what I said. All performative, guys. All performative. And he's still the number 1 trader.
Yeah.
Every
still
week.
on my
Just
list.
letting
You're
you
back
guys
at the
know.
top. You're at the top.
The beef
Hakeem.
is still there.
Yeah. I believed you for a
But
minute.
we do have the craziness of the week. That's never going to go away. We can always count on something crazy happening. And we have to say, yes, that really did happen. And this week, we've got 5 of them. But before we go into them, I want to talk about the poll from last week because we had a couple good ones and I really didn't know which one was going to win. We had the Trump side profile gold pins that they were wearing, like the cult they are. We had Tulsi getting caught voting
Committing
in the
voter
state she
fraud.
doesn't reside in, and then her saying it was because they told her to. We've got Trump trying to give Greenland $10,000 checks. And we had KK Caroline's Get Ready With Me video in the midst of all the chaos. And we did have Greenland win. The checks won. $10,000 checks won. But we did have some votes for Tulsi, and we did have some votes for KK Caroline. Get Ready With Me. So it was a great week. There was some, the first week, the Penguins won in a landslide, 100%. So this week we had some,
Yeah.
not everyone voted for the same thing.
This week was dumb.
This week, I don't know what you guys are going to do this week. This one's going to be a tough one. We've got 5 options this week, guys. 5. So, first one is, of course, the girlies in space?
Quote unquote.
In the atmosphere leading to space? Katy Perry, she's connected to love now. So, we got to witness the girlies go up to space. For what? I don't know.
Just cause.
I don't really know.
No
Just 'cause.
pressurized suit. No helmet. Totally not fake.
Lots of money, government waste,
Yeah.
pollution, and 11 minutes for what? I don't know. But it made Jeff Bezos look good, and I hate that. So
He looked
that's
bad.
the first one.
Because everyone's like, what the fuck is this? They had the nerve
did.
to be like, why are you guys mad? Why are you just calling it a ride?
Yeah, they want to know. It was a ride, okay? And they're not astronauts. But
No.
yes, that really did happen. Katy Perry and Gayle King and others went up to maybe space. I'm not sure. And now they're apparently astronauts. So that's a big one. Next, we've got the Pope was supposed to have a meeting with Vance. And he said, I'm going to skip that. And I'm actually just going to send my vice pope to lecture Vance on how to have some compassion.
Nobody wants to talk to this guy.
Nobody wants to. The Pope's like, I'm literally just trying to live. I don't need to see this man.
I just almost died, okay? I don't have time for this shenanigans.
I don't have time for it. Somebody go tell him to just be a good person, please.
Tell him to go cut it out.
And that one's amazing. And next, we have Mike Johnson. And he is saying that the reason that they are cutting Medicaid is because of all of you gamers. You video gamers, you're so unhealthy. All you do is sit there and play video games, and then you get unhealthy.
So we need to cut Medicaid for everybody.
We need to cut Medicaid for everyone. And might I say, I think we were all fine in 2020 when every one of us was stuck at home playing Animal Crossing. I think that might have been my healthiest era.
We were just fine.
My mental health was great. I was just checking. I was doing all my little things. Animal Crossing was great.
Yeah. Now we have to fight for our rights.
And then next, we've got Jesse Waters. And he's saying Chicago Bulls equals MS-13. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Here, you can hear it for yourself. It's the stupidest thing you've ever heard.
Garcia's a Bulls fan, but he's from El Salvador. And he lives in Maryland, not Chicago. The Bulls lost 60 games in 2019, so why the hat? Can Garcia name anyone on the team? Anyone on any Bulls team besides Jordan? Everyone from El Salvador knows what it means when you wear a Bulls hat. It means you're MS-13.
What? What?
Everyone knows.
What?
Everyone knows.
What?
Everyone in Chicago is like, oh no.
What? Oh my God! I hope the Chicago Bulls saw this clip and were like, "Oh, we're cleaning up house. We're taking them to court and we're clearing their bank account out by Monday, end of day." Like,
Also,
what?
Like, why does he talk?
Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that.
Talks. I don't
Jesse,
guys. I can't make this up. We cannot make this up.
Can Jesse Waters name anyone in the Chicago Bulls? Because Jesse Waters is clearly a femboy. Like, if nobody's noticed. Okay.
It's just
so
wild.
Wow. Yeah, I heard that the other day and I was like, no.
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 No. No. This is not real. This isn't even propaganda. This is just dumb. This is just stupid. And then, of course, the magas eat it up. They're like, yeah, Chicago Bulls equals MS-13. Oh, my God. I completely forgot about the picture Trump tried to show of Kilmar's little finger tattoos. He had a marijuana leaf on one, so that means M. He had a smiley face on another. Of course, that's the S. He had a cross on another, which, of course, that stands for the number 1, because everyone knows that. And a skull on another, which stands for the number 3, because everyone knows that. And, of course, all the people who have done documentaries on MS-13 are like, what the fuck are these people talking about? So.
Oh. All right. Last one. We've got Elon. Elon is entering the DMs now. He needs more children, guys. So he entered the DMs on X. He reached out to MAGA influencer Tiffany Fong and asked one simple question. Can I impregnate you? Please. I don't think he said please. I'm sure he just said, I need to impregnate you. I'm going to impregnate you.
She said,
no, thank you. No, thank you. And he said, fine, block.
Unfollowed.
And what's funny about it is it's giving, you're at the bar with your girlies and that weird guy comes up to you, buys you and all your girlies a drink. And now he thinks because he did that, he's going home with you. And the girlie goes, no, thanks for the drink, but I'm not interested. And then he's like, you were ugly anyway. I just felt bad for you. I didn't even want you. I just felt bad for you. You ugly bitch.
I didn't even like her anyway, bitch.
That's what it's giving. It's giving a man who cannot take the word no.
And he turned off her monetization.
Yeah, he was like just on a rampage. And the fact, I'm not shocked by it, but
no.
It's just the whole aftermath is what's crazy about it. And so for me this week, it's hard. All of them are good. All of them are crazy. I'm going to give it to the Pope because the Pope is quite literally just trying to live. And Jimmy's like, come talk to me.
He said someone to gentle parent him.
To you. It's like, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
That has to be my win this week. Devin, what's yours?
I'm going with Elon because I love it when he's embarrassed. It makes me feel good inside. And that's just so embarrassing.
So
He thought we weren't going to find out. Jesse Waters for a close second, because what the fuck?
All of them are good. I'm excited to see the poll. I am.
Yeah.
I really do think this week's going to be a toss-up on a lot of things because all of them are just like, what?
Why?
What? But anyways, guys, we were trying to keep it at an hour for you guys, and I think we're just at an hour.
Hey.
So we don't want to overwhelm you with information because we want people to listen. Last week was
Please.
long. We're not going
Yeah.
to do that again. We're sorry.
We ain't that famous
yapped.
yet.
We yapped too much. But still stands as of right now. We will be airing out new episodes every Monday on Spotify and on Podbean.
Hey.
And if you listen to the whole thing, you can rate us, which would be amazing.
Please.
And if you could follow us so that you can, be told when our episodes come out, because we are good, but guys, we are still a hot mess express train.
We're just babies.
And who knows if we are going to air on Monday. It might be Tuesday. Who knows? But that's why you should follow us, because we're hot messes.
Just a bit.
You can follow us on our socials since we're famous now.
Hey.
We're on TikTok and Instagram and Blue Sky, all under just Blue-Lusional. The link will be in the bio. And our DMs are still open. Some creepy people are entering. Anytime I post with any bit of makeup on, the men enter. The men enter the chat.
The men.
And there's always start with, hello, beautiful.
Typical.
No, thank you. So they're open for now, but if the creepy men continue, I don't know. But they're open for now. So if you want to DM us, give us any feedback, tell us if you want us to cover anything, if you want to come on, if you want somebody to come on. We are open to anything. We are even talking about starting to make our podcast video as well.
Hey.
But guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a little scary because we just figured out this audio, and so if we have to figure out video on top of it, I fear you might never hear from us again.
It might look like a dubbed movie, so we'll see.
You might never see episode 3 and then nothing. We're like, episode 4 is coming at some point, guys. We're 3 months in, we're still figuring out how to get up episode 4.
Sometime in 2025, episode 4 will air.
So we're working on it, but we got to do a lot of research first. But we know we need to, because if we ever bring special guests on, we want to be able for it to be in video form. And we're coming for you, Midas Touch.
Hey,
so we need
watch
video
out.
because they're on video. But like I said, we'll be here every Monday, and we are very active on TikTok. We're covering the breaking news and everything that's happening throughout the week. So we might not be able to cover everything in our podcast episodes because we don't want them to be 2 hours long. So if we don't cover something here, we most likely covered it on TikTok. So be sure to give us a follow. And if you're not on TikTok, we post the videos on Blue Sky. And you guys should go to Blue Sky.
Because Twitter sucks.
Twitter sucks, and Blue Sky is where it's at. So you can follow us on there. Again, we're just at Blue-Lusional or at Blue-Lusional Podcast. And that is it for this week.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening, and we will see you on Monday with episode 4.
Hey, see ya.
See ya.
3.